guys, we got a really funny person sitting on the couch with us. Randy, the comedian. He is a legend at Western. Tell me about yourself.
Wow, I didn't know I was a legend. That's cool. I'm a stand-up comedian. I've been doing it for a few years. I have my own comedy show at the Seeps once a month called the Huge C Comedy Show. I have a great Twitter following, and Margaret Atwood follows me on Twitter, so that's cool.
Whoa. She must think you're pretty funny.
Yeah, and sometimes I tweet some really stupid stuff, and I'm like, Margaret Atwood is seeing this.
That's hilarious.
I feel like it would be really hard to make fun of yourself when you're doing comedy and like bringing out your flaws and showing them to everyone. So how do you do that when you do comedy?
Well, I think I'm just I don't take myself very seriously. I'm not very hard to make fun of, I don't think. I'm a black dude who's majoring in feminism, so the comedy just happens from there. So I don't think it's really that hard to make fun of myself.
I cannot believe that you are a feminist major and a comedian. It's
a great
so
combination, yeah. It was meant to be.
And you normally bring it into your stand-up.
Yeah, because I don't think there's any reason to ignore it. Like, I genuinely am like a feminist, and I still see the humor in it because it's just funny for a black dude to associate themselves with that.
It is pretty funny.
Yeah.
So you were at the hypnotist show the other day. How
Yes,
did you
I
enjoy
was.
that?
Pardon?
How did you enjoy the X-rated hypnotist?
I really don't enjoy it at all, to be honest. He's a good friend of mine, but I can't watch the show because I don't get embarrassed about stuff that happens to me, but when it happens to other people, I'm just like, you are a big loser. Like, you're half naked on stage right now.
That is so mean.
I know, that's my personality.
People
I'm
might
mean.
think you're a big loser when you go on stage.
I hope they do, because I am, so.
Do you have any go-to jokes that you kind of use as a crowd pleaser?
Oh my God. It's funny because my go-to opening joke, because if you're doing a comedy sketch, your first joke needs to be really impactful and get people's attention.
Right.
And the joke that I usually start off with, I came up with in grade 11, but I was too afraid to say it on stage. And then ever since then, it's actually been working all the time. I start my shows by saying, when I was younger, I was one of those kids that believed the myth that, white milk comes from white cows, and that chocolate milk comes from black women. And it kills every time, so.
You actually did use that joke for the XX hypnotist stand.
When you use some of your jokes, do people sometimes get offended by the things you say?
It's interesting because I'm generally considered like a clean comedian because I don't swear on stage or anything, but I do talk about some subject matters that maybe some people might be uncomfortable with. I've actually performed here at the Spoke, and people got really offended. Yeah, it was just me and Trix, who's on video on trial. He's a very great comedian, and we did a show here, and the president at the time, Forgione, had to apologize on our behalf. They're like, sorry, we offended these people, and I was
What were you saying?
I don't even remember. I was just talking about random stupid stuff. I say a lot of dumb things.
Gee, so would you say that's the pinnacle moment of your career, or?
Being banned from the Spoke, the pinnacle moment?
Yeah, definitely.
No, I think other than Margaret Atwood following me on Twitter, that was a good accomplishment. BJ Novak from The Office replied to a tweet from mine.
No way,
That's
what did
another,
he say?
He's like, I complimented him. I was kind of like ass kissing, but he basically just, because I told him, you're really funny, I love all your tweets, you should have a stand-up special. And he's like, thanks, maybe someday. And I was like, yeah. And I retweeted it, and yeah. I think that's the highlight of my life, actually, not just my career.
That's awesome.
Other than Margaret Atwood, do you have any celebrity idols that you'd want to live up to?
I guess the main one would be Jerry Seinfeld. He's the comedian, he's so successful, and I feel like he's very accessible in terms of almost all age groups can go to Jerry Seinfeld's show. Yeah. So he's kind of the one I'd idolize, and Louis C.K. as well. He's been very successful in the last few years, and he's a very great stand-up comedian, so yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're really looking forward to seeing more of your comedy shows. They're really funny. Me and Simmons were laughing so hard the entire time, and thanks for coming on the couch. It was great.
Oh, thanks.
Just wrap it up there. All right, guys, stick around. Musical guest is coming up, and then we're going to have our 5 favorite things about Movember.